Hey, it's Laura with TrueWell, and today I'm doing summer anti-inflammatory meal prep that balances blood sugar, fights inflammation, and packs in nutrients from fresh seasonal produce. So I really love to eat seasonally. I think that Mother Nature provides us specific nutrients we need for each season, but also it costs less to buy produce seasonally. Now, I love to prep ingredients to be able to just throw them together, but I also know that weeks are absolutely crazy, and so it's also important to have recipes that you can use to prep so you have as little as possible to think about during the week. Now, that being said, let me know in the comments if you like doing meal prep with actual recipes, or if you like prepping ingredients to assemble into meals and snacks how you see fit throughout the week. Now, this summer meal prep session, I've actually got a printable PDF guide that walks you through all of the steps that we're gonna do in this video so that you can do this meal prep easily at home. So today we're prepping cherry almond smoothies, low carb blueberry scones, and we're also gonna roast some veggies to be able to use in recipes throughout the week. So the summer dinner recipes that we're gonna be prepping for this week are grilled salmon with sauteed green beans, paleo chicken fajita bowls, low carb eggplant parmesan casserole, and pesto chicken with zucchini and squash medley. Now, if you're all about meal prepping in the most efficient way possible and eat an anti-inflammatory diet, which is gluten-free, sugar-free, and sometimes dairy-free, you're also gonna wanna check out my summer anti-inflammatory meal plan kits, which I'm gonna mention again at the end of this video. And I'm gonna tell you how to get a huge discount on it, so stick around till the end. So let's get started prepping.
All right, so let's start out with the order for prepping for maximum time savings. So we're going to, number one, chop just enough veggies that need to go into the oven. Number two, mix and bake anything that needs to go into the oven. And then while that's cooking or baking, we're gonna chop anything that's left over and then put together smoothie packs, marinades, and dips or sauces to store in the fridge until you need them during the week. So let's start with chopping everything. For this summer anti-inflammatory meal prep session and meal plan, I started out chopping the vegetables, which were zucchini, summer squash, eggplant, green beans, bell peppers, and onions. So first of all, I want to make sure that everything's been washed, get out my equipment, which is my cutting board, good knives, my sheet pans, and then something to line them with. My best suggestions for these are a sill mat or a barbecue grill mat, which is super cool because you can actually cut it to the size of your pans and nothing sticks to it. And then you just get started chopping. So the way that you want to chop veggies when you're roasting them for meal prep like this is just to try and cut them all around the same size. Doing that just kind of ensures that all those vegetable chunks cook at about the same rate. For the squash and zucchini, I usually just slice them in half lengthwise and then just chop the slices all the way down. And so we've got squash chunked up and the zucchini chopped up, and then moving on to the eggplants. Now, for the eggplant, I like these because they're pretty filling, but they have a soft texture without being mushy with liquid. And eggplant slices are really great for eggplant parmesan, so it may help to slice it if you'd like to use it that way. I have been told by an Italian chef that sometimes they do keep the eggplant skin on the slice so that it'll stay intact during cooking. But I also like to peel mine and cut into half slices or half moon slices to roast sometimes. So if you are going to peel your eggplant, just make sure that you have the right tool. The skin, when it's not cooked, can be pretty thick, so it's much easier and safer to use just like a small paring knife. Now, anytime I'm roasting veggies like this for meal prep, especially when you're making dishes that are for different cuisines through the week, I use the basics of seasoning: oil, salt, pepper, and then garlic powder if you want. I used avocado oil because it has good monounsaturated fat, which is great for pulling down inflammation. And then you can use the mister if you want a lighter coating of oil rather than it being drizzled. Then I moved on to my peppers and onions. And for the bell peppers, I'll cut the tops off. You just work the knife around the inside to pull the seed pod out, give it a tap to get all the seeds out, and then flip it upside down just to cut it into slices. And I did the same thing with my other bell peppers, then peeled the skin of my onion. And once those are all ready to go, they go onto a pan with that secret grill mat and get the same oil, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. Then everything goes into the oven at 350 Fahrenheit for about 25 to 30 minutes. While those are cooking, I'm going to take advantage of that time in the oven and chop anything else, then mix up my batter for the blueberry scones, and then assemble my marinades and sauces and my smoothie packs. Now, the last thing that I'm chopping are the green beans. So the green beans did not get roasted, but they did get put into storage containers in the fridge. Now, while everything is still cooking, we're gonna go ahead and mix up that scone batter. Now, I wanna go ahead and have this batter ready to go because as soon as the roasted veggies come out of the oven, the scones go in. Now, we start out mixing the dry ingredients, then we mix in all the wet ingredients and then combine it really well. Then the batter goes onto a sheet pan and we just sort of shape it in this round shape. Some people do scones this way. Some people make them just kind of in little blobs like biscuits. This is up to you, but this recipe does cook really well when you do it like this. And then you have the advantage of cutting it into super equal portion sizes. Now, the summer fruits that we're using this week are blueberries, cherries, and lime. And the lime just needs to be sliced and juiced, which takes no time. So I'm just going to leave that until the night that I need it. Now, I'm also going to use frozen tart cherries, but if you're using fresh cherries, you're going to need to wash them, take the stems off, and then pit the cherries to get the seeds out. Then you're going to want to freeze them in a baggie until you need them for your smoothies because you want them to be nice and frozen. So really the only prep for fruit this week is the cherries if you need to do that. And then I'm going to move on to the herbs. And this week I needed cilantro and basil. So I'm just going to take the amount needed from the recipes and then just kind of pull it from the stems. Both of these recipes require the blender, so there's really no need to go all out chopping these herbs unless your blender has a hard time pulling the larger leaves like that down while it's blending. So by this time, the veggies should be done in the oven. So we're just going to go ahead and pull those out of the oven to let them cool. And then we're going to shift the temperature up to 350 and put the blueberry scones in at 350 for 30 minutes. Now that everything's chopped and ready, I'm still waiting on the scones to finish baking. I can start assembling prep packs and containers for stuff that will go in the fridge until the night or day that I need it. So let's start with the cherry almond smoothie packs. I'm going to make 2 of these for the week, and we just throw all the ingredients into a baggie that's labeled. And these little handy things I'm using are called baggie stands. And I'm telling you, this makes it so much easier to use baggies for storage when you have anything liquid, because if it tips at all, you've got liquid all over the counter, and that does not happen with these things. So you can find them online. I'll have a link in the description if you want to grab some as well. Now, this recipe also includes a few ice cubes, but we're going to hold off on those until the day that we make the smoothie so that they don't melt in the fridge. And you can write the instructions for ice on the baggie too if you want. And then once those baggies are made, they're going to go in the fridge. And next, we're going to make our marinades, dressings, and sauces. So first up is our cilantro lime sauce, and this sauce is going to go on our paleo chicken fajita bowls and can also be used for dressings on salads. So really you can double or triple this recipe if you want. The ingredients just all go in the blender, you blend it, and then pour it into a container to seal and store in the fridge. Next is our homemade low-carb marinara. Now, if you can find no sugar added marinara in the store, it may be easier for you to just buy it made already, but if you can't, then this recipe is great. And as long as you can find crushed tomatoes, you don't even need to blend it if you don't want to. It's as simple as just pouring the ingredients into the saucepan, let it cook about 10 to 15 minutes, and then when it's cooled, store it in a jar in the fridge. And last is our easy pesto. And this is for our pesto chicken with zucchini and squash medley. And again, super, super easy. All the ingredients go into the blender. Now, if you can't find pine nuts, a good alternative is macadamia or even cashews. You just throw it all into the blender, pulse it several times. You may need to add a little bit more oil to get those to kind of crush all down to be able to blend. And then you just pour it into a container to seal and store it in the fridge. So at this point, we're going to pull our scones out of the oven and let them cool for a little bit. And then once you have all of your veggies cooled down, they're ready to go into your meal prep containers, again, to store in the fridge during the week. And then you have all of your veggie components ready to go for the week for these recipes. If you happen to have any leftovers from your meal prep at the end of the week, my favorite way to use it is to make a Nourish bowl or a macro bowl with all the leftovers.
If you enjoyed this meal prep video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up so other people can find it. Hit the subscribe button, and then also let me know what you want to see more of in the comments below. And as I mentioned before, I've created a PDF printable guide for you that should hopefully make meal prep a little bit easier for the week, because it has the full step-by-step guide as well as links to those recipes that are on the TrueWell site. And as promised, when you grab that free PDF, you're also going to get a really special discount for the full summer anti-inflammatory meal plan kit that has 4 entire weeks of meal plans, recipes, prep guide, dinners, lunches, breakfast, snacks, even desserts and mocktails that are all sugar-free, gluten-free, and dairy-free adaptable. And the links for all of that is in the description below. Be true, be well, and I'll see you in the next video.